like to call this meeting of the Pima JTED Governing Board to order. We have a substitute Chris tonight. Could you do a roll call?
Yep.
Here. Thank you. If we could just rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible. Thank you.
That's your
It's our tradition to read a land acknowledgement. We respectfully acknowledge the campuses of Pima JTED are set on the land of indigenous peoples. With Arizona being home to 22 federally recognized tribes, we respectfully recognize that indigenous people have been living and working on this land since time immemorial. Need a motion to approve the agenda? A motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. We approve the agenda. Next, we have recognitions. Mr. Deanna.
Chairman Schlinger, members of the board, Superintendent Prather. Tonight, we have the honor of honoring our legendary teachers. We'd like to thank Dr. Nick Clement for making this all possible with the Legendary Teacher Program. And first up, it's my great honor, one of my good friends and colleagues, Officer Rob Fountain, who teaches our Law and Public Safety program. He comes live on Zoom because he is teaching at our campus. But the video, so rather than hear from me, let's hear from some of his students and colleagues about Rob Fountain and what makes him legendary.
Today, we would like to officially acknowledge Officer Rob Fountain as JTED's Legendary Teacher of the Year.
When I found out I got this award, I didn't think it was real. And then I went through the process of like, well, why me? What did I do that was special, if anything? And then people told me, just allow yourself to accept it and be proud of the fact that other people recognize you and your efforts.
It was a unanimous decision that we voted for Officer Fountain. He's a 14-year veteran of JTED, plus he's an excellent teacher. We've used him as a model for a lot of our training for new teachers. Plus, he's just someone who runs an amazing class.
Where is the most wear on a shoe? The bottom. Okay, the bottom. Okay, maybe on the heel or the toe.
School grades are important, but they don't tell the whole story. It's the stories that all of those students are going to tell when, in 10 years from now, about this class.
What I do is in my own little world, and I do things because, number one, I don't want to get bored teaching, and I don't want my students to get bored, and then I do a lot of it so that they can have different ways to learn, because kiddos learn differently.
He keeps us entertained through stuff you would want to know, rather than this is school. You don't come here going, this is school. You come here going, I want to learn this.
Teaching has intuition involved. There are certain legendary teachers who know what's going to happen before it happens.
Over the weeks and months, you can pick up on if a kiddo's having a bad day, or if all of them are having a bad day, or maybe it's finals week or midterm week, and they're toast, they're gassed, they just don't have anything left. So reading the kids daily, along with that, is really understanding who they are as people.
He's very kind, he's emotional, and he's honest with you. He treats you on his level, and he holds you to a bar that he would hold himself to.
Look at the fact that these kids are sacrificing their time to be at JTED. So you need to have good stuff ready to go because they deserve it.
He teaches you and he has that teacher boundary, obviously, but he's a person and he can understand you as a person. He not only teaches well, but he connects well with the classroom.
He really cares about students. He really cares about them, not only during class, but also their success moving forward. We have a really nice group of students who always reach back out and say that he was a pivotal teacher in their career path.
Push-ups. You're gonna be on your hands and on your toes.
I feel like before taking this program, I didn't really know what I wanted to do after high school. I didn't really know who I wanted to be, actually.
That's one of the things that I really like is from August, how they transform into the man or woman that they are by May. To see how much personal confidence they've built, how much they recognize how much they can do, how much they can handle, whether it's physical fitness, academics.
He coordinates a lot of people to make this program happen and to make it successful. Year after year, it's one of our programs that has a really big wait list of kids who want to get in, and I think that's testimony to all the work that he's done for JTED. He does a great job. We're really proud of him.
Give a round of applause to Officer Rob Fountain. And Rob, we got your award to you yesterday, so keep that as a badge of honor, and just remember all the great work that you do for us is much appreciated, and we're lucky to have you as a colleague. Thank you. And next, I'd like to introduce the pride of Pueblo High School in Tucson Unified School District, Dr. Maria Bicknell. And Dr. Maria Bicknell is our central campus, or I'm sorry, our satellite campus, a legendary teacher. And we also have a video that my colleague Craig Mills put together when he visited her classroom. So we'll take a look at that.
By TUSD. I was recruited by TUSD right after I graduated from the U of A, and I wasn't sure. It took me 3 years to decide this is where it's at. By year 3, I just knew it, and it felt amazing to be in the classroom, and the rest is history.
My dad works here, and she was his teacher, so I think that seeing someone that's been here for multiple generations means that she's able to connect to Pueblo's community a lot deeper than newer teachers, especially because she shares the heritage and the culture here as well.
I gave it my all every single year. So this community and this Pueblo, everything, I embraced the fellowship, I embraced the support, I embraced it all.
It shows her as a person, her being here as long as 43 years, so it shows her longevity as connecting with this community and showing she cares.
It's not just a superficial connection, and it's not just, oh, she's nice. It's also that she understands where we come from and what we're capable of doing in the future.
We might not fit the mold of that career or this career. Do not limit yourselves. I am always finding teachable moments to instill that knowledge on them, and I respect them. They know it, and they know I care.
Dr. Bicknell has always made us students believe that we can do anything, and the way that she's done that is she's fostered our strengths, and she's also made it to where we can identify what we're weak in, and we can develop that further.
She's helped me mold my future by thinking different paths instead of having tunnel vision. She helped me think about different ways this could take me this way, or this career could help me go like 3 different ways rather than just focusing on one thing.
She doesn't just focus on the material, but she connects it to real-world situations, and she also cares deeply about her students.
When I found out she won Legendary Teacher, I was so happy because she is the most deserving, not only teacher, but person that I know that would get that award.
I was very thankful, very honored, and humbled to think that the 3 of us, the trifecta, was completed. It was a very proud moment for me as a daughter of 2 beautiful people who raised many of us. There's 9 of us, and all of us have the same shared values that we're proud of what we do.
She will give her lecture, and she will actually speak to you directly as a student, and she will try to connect her lesson to something that you've experienced, and she does that every day.
She feels more human. She connects with you way more than a regular teacher would. She makes it feel like you're her family.
I know that I make a difference in students' lives. They're tender, they're learning. Who knows what they've been through? If a few, even one of my students in my class just propels in their dreams and what they want to do moving forward in life and just making themselves better, then that is well worth coming back for on a daily basis.
She's one of the busiest people I know, but she will come early on a Wednesday, or she'll come early on whatever day you need, or she'll come here on the weekend just to be here for you.
I've had students come back, write me letters, seek me in social media, and I've saved some of the things they've said to me. Thank you for that advice. I followed some of your advice and it really helped. It keeps me going, and I don't know when I'm gonna stop. I have no plan on stopping anytime soon. I mean, I know I have to leave at one point, but until that day, every day gets my best.
She is the most thoughtful person I've ever met. She'll be there at your worst, she'll celebrate you at your best, and I think that's what makes her legendary.
Thank you, Dr. Bucknell, for all that you do for your students throughout the years, and in the future, we're glad that you're not going anywhere anytime soon. So glad you're sticking around. We need you. Our students need you. And next up, I'd like to introduce my colleague, turn the floor over to Kimberly McCroy, who has some teachers who have completed their certifications.
Good evening, Chairman Slanger, Superintendent Prather, and board members. It is our honor tonight to celebrate the hard work of our local educators who have shown their commitment to CTE profession through the completion of the Industry to Educator Institute. Our professional development department extends our gratitude to the board, our member districts, and our honorees' families for supporting their growth and your presence tonight to celebrate them. We celebrate their accomplishment of completing 15 Premier Series courses within 3 years. The Premier Series is an array of courses designed to provide teachers with the skills they need to be successful as an educator in a CTE program. Their accomplishment is no small feat considering these professionals balance transitioning to a new career and growing CTE programs simultaneously. We applaud their dedication to student success, and we encourage them to continue their professional growth. The first teacher we'd like to invite up is Ken James. Ken is our air transportation teacher here at JTED Central Bridges campus. Congratulations. Our next teacher is Francesca Lopez. She's our culinary arts teacher at Ajo. Next we have Jeannie Velasquez. Jeannie is our early childhood education teacher at Amphi. We also have Stephen Weatherholt. He's our sports medicine teacher in the amphitheater district. We also had a few teachers who were unable to join us tonight, but I did want to read their names and just tell you where they were from. And so we had Lauren Emerine from TUSD. She teaches graphic design. Zoe Sense from Marana teaches early childhood education. Erin Vanuga, culinary arts at Tucson Unified School District. Randy Johnson, Santa Cruz Valley. He has been a huge help in their stagecraft program. And then we had two teachers who actually completed something a little bit different, which was that they were a certified teacher already, and they transitioned into career and technical education. And so they completed 7 courses specific to teaching CTE. Those were Scott Weiler, our very own automation robotics here at the Bridges campus, and Trisha Logan is the home health aide teacher at Baba Kivri. Thank you so much.
And that concludes our recognitions for this evening. Thank you.
Well, next up is call to the public. Anybody like to speak to us? Oh, well. And then we have correspondence and reports. We have 2 student representatives here tonight. So you pick who goes first and give your presentation.
Good evening. Good evening, Chairman Schlanger, members of the board, Superintendent Prather. My name is Logan Reich. I am the night chapter president for my class, 3D animation and game design. So our program, let's first start talking about what our program is about. Where was I? Okay. 3D animation and modeling has been changing the world of entertainment and engineering for years. In our class, we teach students how to solve problems in innovative ways by applying their creative and technical skills. This class is designed to prepare students for the future, whether that's college, their career, or both. Can we get the next slide, please? These are some examples of projects that have been done in the class previously. Our first year students are currently working on projects in Blender, the 3D software that we use. Some of their projects include character modeling and sculpting and interior design. We teach them how to transfer their skills into a video game environment using Unity. And by the end of the school year, all students will create a digital portfolio or a digifolio where they can show up their projects and assignments to show to future employers. Here we have some examples of projects that I've made in Blender and in unity. This is my Digifolio. I use this as an example as well. This is kind of the general idea. Our Year 2 students are currently working on their certification in Adobe After Effects. Throughout the school year, they are giving projects that hone their skills for their final exam. And by the end of the school year, all second-year students will be After Effects certified, which they can use that certification in their careers moving forward. They can use it for motion graphics, film editing, and so on. This is an example of kind of what it looks like. That's the one that I received. We also cover technology that is interesting in the industry. We have students put together animations that they can put on these hollow fans, and they project 3D renders and animations in the real world. So we can see that example of the butterfly. It's completely 2D plane, it's just a fan, but it looks like it's actually 3D moving in the real world. We've also begun experimenting with virtual reality, or VR. We have been connecting VR headsets to Blender, and we have been viewing our creations in the 3D environment with the goggles on, so we can see our projects in scale and walk through them. Like if you'd have a house, you could enter the house, walk through it, see what it's like. We have also begun our Skills USA Saturday practices that prepare certain selected students for a competition towards the end of the year. We meet up on Saturdays and we have 6 hours to complete a project and animation that is in accordance to the specific prompts that were given. They're different each time, so you gotta improvise a little. These are pictures of us winning nationals one year. This is our computer lab. We recently got upgraded computers. We all have Apple iMacs now that run a lot faster and better, which has been allowing us to render our animations even faster than before. This is our green room that we've used for certain Adobe After Effects projects in the past. We can film footage in it, and we also use it for our VR experiments. And lastly, I wanted to touch on the summer internship that we've done. There's a picture of me at the very bottom when I did it 2 years ago. It's a great opportunity for students to get real-world job experience where they get to apply their skills from our class. Thank you so much for your time, and that will be all.
I have a question for you.
Oh, yes.
In your green room, you talked about JTED nightly news. Do you do that nightly? There was something on the.
Yes, that is filmed by Mr. Fuller. I think he selects people to film the stuff. I know he does it for the ITTS morning announcements. Yeah, so those get filmed in that room.
Okay, thank you very much. Alex?
Could I ask you what's your next step now?
My personal next step?
Yeah, your personal.
My personal next step. I'll go to college. I've been very indecisive on a career path I wanted to go. But recently I've come to more of a revelation that I do want to do something in animation. So I was thinking of going to NAU, doing my gen eds at Pima Community College, transferring to NAU, and then get a degree for animation there.
That's great. I always wanted to work for Walt Disney, but I never got the chance. Have a good time, and I think you'll have a wonderful life.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for sharing everything about your program. Very fascinating. Thank you.
Thank you.
And you're next.
Good evening, Superintendent Slinger, or Chairman Slinger.
Speak into the mic.
Chairman Slinger and Superintendent Mrs. Prather and the governing board. I am Angelica Barraza. I am part of the Certified Caregiving Program. I am a senior at Tucson High, and this is one of the newer programs with JTED. There is only a handful of us in this class. Small gestures, big comfort. As caregivers, we need to learn how to care for a variety of older adults in several different conditions, such as dementia patients or older adults recovering from a stroke. Our main priorities is to care for their health, safety, and dignity. Lessons from our class. We have covered many topics. Social determinations of health, law and ethics, communication and interpretation skills, infectious disease, wound care, medication administration, food handling, nutrition. A lot of these pictures are from our food handling class, which very similarly what we had for dinner. We made a lot of different foods. Can I get the next slide, please? Oh, thank you. It went along with our nutrition. And our nutrition unit had a lot to offer. Our favorite thing of our nutrition unit was Thicket. Thicket is a substance that gets added into most liquids, such as juices, broth, soups. It is mainly used as a way to prevent aspiration, mainly used for patients that have dysphagia, which is just them kind of having problems swallowing. There are different thicknesses and nectar, honey, and pudding. And I think that was it. Is that it? Do you guys have any questions?
I do. I'd like to know how long you spent on the.
For cooking, we had to get our food handler's certificate. So that was partially in class. It was an online certificate, but then we took a Saturday class with the culinary, and we spent, I don't remember how long we spent, but we made a lot of foods. We learned about the safety, how to wash, how to sanitize, but with the safety and everything.
Every time I look in the mirror and see that old guy looking back at me, I'm thinking, hey, I need to get somebody like you around. What part of it do you enjoy the most?
A lot of it has to do with the people in the class. I think I knew out of the entire program one person, and that's because we go to high school together. But I became really close with the other girl in our class, and I'm really excited to be able to go do clinicals with her and also with the other friend. But it was amazing how fast we were able to connect as people. And I also want to be able to do that with older people and kind of be there for them and support them in other ways.
Wish you all the luck in the world. You'll do just fine.
My mic was off. Okay. Next, we have our superintendent's report.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to start out and just thank Logan and Helica for being here this evening and sharing information about their personal goals and about their program. And we really appreciate you taking the time. So thank you so much. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank Chef Zane and his students who provided our board dinner this evening. And also a shout out to Frankie Malgacini, who is our IT user experience coordinator. And he's here running the program for us electronically. And then I'd like to give a special shout out to Miss Samantha Powell, who is sitting in for our own Chris Suarez. And Samantha, thank you so much for being here this evening and filling in for Chris and taking care of us. Yes, yeah. The most valuable assets of Pima JTED are our employees and staff, and I'm pleased that we are able to ask our governing board tonight to approve a 4% raise for all employees. Our employees deserve much more, but this is a start. I also want to thank our partners in the community who continue to support our students, faculty, and staff. Last week, Potoff Private Philanthropy announced a $500,000 gift to the University of Arizona, Mel and Enid Zuckerman College of Public Health, to provide scholarships to Pima JTED students who are our program completers who go on to the College of Public Health to further their studies. This is a wonderful complement to the successful work of our Community Health and Wellness Certification Program, which is actually one of the first in the country, if not the first, for high school students in that field. I am also pleased that our governing board will be asked tonight to approve a major donation from Northwest Fire, who is one of our most engaged community partners. And thank you, Jennifer Atterbury-Pierpont, for leading that charge for us with that donation. And this fire engine is valued at $60,000 and will be used by our fire services program. Additionally, our governing board will be asked to approve the donation by the Sunt Company for the labor, materials, and installation of a 16,000 square foot slab that will expand our construction technology lab area. And thanks to Merrill Kemp Wilcox for shepherding that donation for us. And other donations that we'll be asking for approval tonight by our board include supplies from the American Port Council, as well as support from Arizona Complete Health, Centene, and a generous donation from an anonymous donor that will provide teacher internships as well as many other activities and supports for our industrial technology programs across our region. We are truly blessed by the support shown by our community and the dedication of our faculty and staff, and of course, by the persistence for excellence by our students. And so thank you. That concludes my report this evening.
Thank you. Next, we have governing board member reports. Cindy, you have anything to report?
Not not too much between my coughing. Sorry, I did attend the JTED Pima Foundation board meeting, which was quite enlightening, and well, later.
Thank you. Alex?
I was just looking at all the things that I should have been doing. The first one, I was on the East Coast doing a study of autumn leaves. About the time that the nor'easter hit. So I can now say I've been to New England. And then I see that the Pima County ASBA county meeting. Well, when I got back from being enlightened about the East Coast, I got some kind of bug. So I missed the ASBA Pima County meeting. I missed the Educational Enrichment Foundation Award meeting, but I did meet the Cornerstone Awards meeting last Friday at the Desert Diamond Casino. So I was here mostly, hardly. Yeah. Oh, but I did make 2 meetings of our advisory board on the new buildings that we hope to be building here in the near future. So I did make those 2. That's it.
Okay. Well, thank you. Brenda?
Sure, I continued doing my visits, but it was last year. Hold on a second, Frank. I last September, I went to Flowing Wells, but then I missed the last meeting. So Frank's helped my slides for me. The 16th of this month, I attended the summit at Ventana. On the 27th, I attended the ASBA regionals that Alex missed. And on the 29th, I attended the ribbon cutting of cybersecurity building at Sunnyside, which was very nice. Now, the report I did on September 23rd, I visited Flowing Wells High School, and I hadn't been there much since 2010, and there's been some changes. Allison Imbacher is their director, and she's very nice. And she gave me a little bit of history. And so I'm just going to let you guys have a read of it. The counseling has made it their goal to incorporate more career plans into their ECAPs. And it's really seen an increase from 94 enrollments in Central to 143 this year. So I thought that was impressive. And Mike Serson has had great retention. He's our Central program, but he's had a lot of retention, 10 advanced third year students and 20 intermediate second year students, along with 1 intern. So that was impressive too. And then they showed me the kids at the bottom. I think it's Ariel Avalos. I'm not sure. How do you pronounce it? And the girl next to him, which I can't say her name, they were elected as Skills USA regional officers. So congratulations to them. And then the next slide is the auto program. And I've got to say, so many times I was in that auto program and it was all evap cooling. And they finally have cordoned off a little bit of it. So the actual classroom now has air conditioning. So those poor kids in there in that evap for all this time, but she was very proud of that. And then the culinary program is getting ready for a facelift too. And if you've been down there and seen their room that we have the meetings in, there's a lot of stuff going on there. And I guess they're finally going to make that an adequate place to have culinary. It's been not for so long. So their plans have been drawn and they hope that it'll start next summer, she says. And then the agri-science program, that lady there, Caitlin Reynolds, was in the top 5 for teacher of the year. She didn't get it. I guess the Sarita teacher did, but they're very proud of her and her program. And I'm sure Kurt knows about that program. So it was a very nice visit. I enjoyed it. It ends with the digital photography program has a project where they get to soak people. So their famous water balloon freeze frame photography project had Dustin Williams, and he challenges everybody to go down there and get soaked like he did. So I'd like to thank Flowing Wells for being so hospitable and answering the questions, and what a nice time it was.
All right, thank you. Well, I did a few things. I represented JTED at a chamber meeting with a contingent from Mexico of business folks and educators that came up from Mexico. And we had dinner, and it was a good meeting. It was very informative. At the beginning, various people spoke, and mainly they were talking about Pima College and the U of A, with no mention of JTED. And then we went around the room, everybody introduced themselves and said why they were there, who they were. And Don Bourne was there. And he got to speak before I did. And he got up and he said, "What's the matter with you people? JTED is here." JTED is more important than anything else. It's the beginning of the pipeline, you know, and he went on for a bit. And I really felt good about that. So I thanked him profusely when I got up and spoke. And the people from Mexico were going to spend a couple of days up here and tour Pima College and the U of A. I spoke to a few people and put a bug in their ear that, you know, they need to come here first. And we'll see what happens in future situations, because they host a lot of business and education people from other countries. Some of the educators I spoke to from Mexico are very interested in coming and touring our campus. So next time they're up, we'll see what we can arrange. And went to the ASBA county meeting. Oh, darn. Sorry, Alex. Well, they gave you an award, and since you weren't there, I took it with me.
Oh.
And I was going to bring it tonight, and it was not edible, but I will make sure you get that soon. So, yeah, Alex got an award.
Not being there award.
And then last Thursday was the auto advisory meeting that we do jointly with Pima College and all the JTED automotive programs. Instead of doing it at Pima College, we're starting to rotate around to the different high school classes. And this one was at Pueblo. No, I'm sorry, Sunnyside. And they've really done a magnificent job remodeling those classrooms. Really good job. It looks really nice, and that was good. And we had a few discussions. One of them is something I bring up at these things, which is why only Flowing Wells has ASE certification. Because, well, Flowing Wells has the certification, and then they have a higher certification, and they get free cars from the manufacturers. They get hundreds of thousands of dollars of cars and equipment donated. So I put it out there, you know, what is the reason you're not doing this? And Mario Castro was there, and so he didn't know anything about it. So he started asking questions, and I'm wondering, and we'll talk about this later, but I'm wondering if JTED can't provide an advisory person that could help get these other classes certified. because it would bring in a tremendous amount of resources for them. And I don't think they have the teachers don't have the time to do it on their own. They need help. And I'm wondering, we'll have to discuss it, of course, if we can't provide some of that help. So that's that. Next, what do we have next here? Yeah, we started with her. Yeah. We have financial updates. CFO.
Okay, good evening. You should have a copy of the presentation in front of you. Make it a little easier, hopefully, to read. Bound by Sammy and our associates. I did not pick the back color. I just want to make that official, okay? Okay. Here we go. First, we're going to talk about our budget control funds. As you can see, our M&O Classroom Site Fund unrestricted capital, we have healthy balances, but this is early in the year. Spring is where we really start spending a lot of M&O dollars. So you'll see that budget balance continue to go down as we go through the fiscal year. We do have a negative budget balance in CTE grants. That's normal because we have to spend it before we get it back. And also we need to verify that those are correct budget numbers. But that's where we're at currently right now. Moving to our cash control funds, which is very nice. We don't see any yellow. So we have positive balances in all of our cash control funds and healthy balances in quite a few. So before I continue, any questions on both budget and cash control funds? No. No. Okay. M&O by object group. This just shows us where we're spending the money in our maintenance and operation. And I do highlight out the pass-through payments. If you remember right, we didn't have very much activity last month, and it's starting to pick up as we go through the year now. This is a new slide I decided to put in here just to give you some context, both by function and by object. And the reason function is important is that's one of the areas that the state focuses on, because it's going to tell us how much we're spending in instruction. And so keep this table in mind as we look at these pie charts, and that's where these charts are driven by that table. And as you can see, 53% of our M&O spend is in the instructional function group. We have 5% in support services for students, 5% for instructional staff support, 12% in general administration, 5% in school administration. Central services, 9%. Central services are things like your travel and also business office. And then we do have 10% in operation and maintenance of the plant. And then that one little 1% carve out, as you can see, we don't have a lot in there. Transportation, construction, debt service, those are pretty much zero, and all you have is some non-instructional services in there. If we move to M&O by object, to no surprise, this is salaries and benefits are our biggest spend. And then that carve out of 22%, that brownish one, looks brown to me, that's mainly made up of our pass-through going to our district. So 21% of our M&O budget is passed through to member districts. With that, any questions on both function and object breakdown.
On the M&O that you had here, general administration would be district office and school administration was principals.
That's correct. So yeah, general administration is going to be central administration. Yes. All right. This slide here, you can put a big X through. This one should not have been in here. I apologize for that. I was in a hurry. It's no excuse, but I didn't do a second review, so we'll just skip that one. And then here, just by member district, I threw them all on one slide because I'm giving them to you guys to read. I thought it would be easier just to put everybody on one. And as you can see, we've paid 1.57 million to date of the 20.66 million that is going to member districts. And so they have a remaining balance of $19 million. Now that those balances or that original amount was made up of original allocation, short-term carry forward, and long-term carry forward. That's what this was supposed to show, but this is not accurate. I'll have a more accurate slide for you next time. And with that, I'll take any questions. No? All right. Well, thank you very much.
Good. Any questions? Or... Thank you. Information and updates. Oh, that's great. All right.
Thus next. Yay. Good evening. Thank you, Chairman Schlanger, Governing Board. Okay. Oops. There we go. We appreciate this opportunity to share with you an annual report for the 24-25 school year. And if you notice on the bottom right-hand corner of the very first page, the number 1 is in a very unique font, only available to the PD department. It's not Times New Roman, it's called Kurt. It's handwritten because I didn't number the pages and I wanted you to be able to see the pages or refer to the pages. We're not going to go through all of these page by page, obviously, but I would like to just highlight a couple of the key things in here in just a moment. But first of all, I'd like to thank Mary and Kimberly, who really do a stellar job of providing services to our teachers. The Premier Series courses are what it's really the main focus of what we do, which is what allows our teachers to become certified. And a 15-hour course is the equivalent of 1 semester hour of college. We don't charge anything for our members, and we charge $100 for those outside of the boundaries of Pima JTED. All these courses are approved by the Department of Ed, and there's a committee that oversees this of people from across the state. Kathy was on that committee for a long, long time. We currently offer 24 different courses, and in this past year, we offered 50. WestMec also offers a whole slew of courses. We offer some in person, most in person, some on Zoom, a couple that are self-paced. We do some Saturdays, some weekends. Our goal is to meet teachers where they're needed, including in the summer. We also offer certificates for recertifications. So once you're fully certified, every 12 years, you need 180 hours of ongoing professional development. And teachers can get that through all kinds of things. They get it through going to our staff in services, to conferences. There's a whole list here of things that count. A few highlights from the data. Page 1 and 2 of the booklet in front of you is just a summary showing that we had 78 events this past school year. On page 2, you'll see that we had 50 of those events with 1,003 attendees being teachers coming to Premier Series courses. So we averaged just a hair over 20 teachers in each class. At the bottom of page 2, I think you'll find that interesting. 26.1% of our participants are central and 54% are satellite. And about almost 20% come from beyond the borders of Pima JTED, which is about half of what it had been. So our numbers are up locally, and we have a net increase in participation. Our numbers are down statewide because we made a conscious decision about a year and a half ago when ACT EAZ was able to hire a new person. And we have been funneling teachers that normally come to us to the association, and they take the courses, and Amber is doing a phenomenal job. And so they're picking up what was all along intended to be their job, rural Arizona. But because of turnover, that hadn't been going quite that way. So we're real excited that even though we still serve a pretty good sized number of folks from rural Arizona, it's not nearly as much as it had been. And that has implications for the business department and for all kinds of folks internally, because there's a lot of moving pieces with having out of district folks come. On page 3, you're going to see, how many attendees came from every district. At the very bottom, right after Vail, where it says public interest, these are people who are not currently teaching, but who are considering becoming teachers. And we offer our courses free of charge to anyone who is considering teaching as an occupation. And there are people like Joelle, our construction teacher here, who took several courses with us long before the apprenticeship ever happened, just to find out, is he interested in becoming a CTE teacher? Alex has sent people to these courses several times over the years. On page 4, you're going to see where we have some data on the advisor and officer retreats that we offer to all of our member districts. And many of them take us up on it, and all of our central programs as well. So it's kind of in the middle of page 4. We had 13 full-day events with about 800 officers and 172 advisors. Page 5 outlines the apprenticeship program, which you heard about last meeting. We also show on page 5 workshops and other trainings that are offered. Page 6 kind of outlines the two-pronged approach we have to support our teachers and the CTE directors in keeping their teachers on track for certification. Starting on page 7, you'll notice page 7 at the very top says AHO. So that outlines which teachers took which courses. And then on page 9, amphitheater. And it continues all the way to page 41 with Vail. So that just gives you an idea of the teachers that come from each district to participate. Brenda, did you have a?
Well, I have a question. Aho, I don't know how many teachers they've got, but Tanque Verde has such a small number compared to Aho's. And
yeah, so what happens is some teachers have long established teachers that there's very little turnover, and so they don't need the courses. Others, there's been turnover, and so we see their teachers more frequently. So Tanque Verde's in this little lull where they have experienced teachers on staff that don't need coursework. So that's the reason for that. If you would turn to page 43, I think you're going to find that especially interesting. Page 43 outlines how many courses in every program area we have. So there's 1 accounting program and 11 agri-science, I should say 11 agri-science teachers, not necessarily programs, because some have 2 teachers, 2 air transportation, etc. So if you ever wished you could see all those in a 3-page document, it ends on page 45 and it outlines how many teachers are teaching in each of those areas. And then on page 47, it also lists the type of certification all of our teachers have. How many have specialized standard and how many have standard CTE in each of the 6 different areas. So, and I'm off on my slides. I'm sorry, I got so focused on the book. So at any rate, let me have you refocus on the slide. So here again is a summary of the participation by our member districts. The last 3 pages outline every CTE program and how many are in each. And the very last page, how many teachers have each of these certifications. The one thing I'd like to draw attention to is that 98% of the, 98 teachers, 42% of all teachers have 0 requirement to take any of the Premier Series from the State Department of Education. When you come in under the standard specialized, you don't have to do anything. And so thankfully, Central has made a strong commitment to have the teachers take those courses, maybe over a little longer time, not necessarily crunched into 3 years, but maybe as many as 5 years, but to make sure that they all take the courses. Not true of all the satellites. Some of the satellite districts are really good at sending all of their teachers. And some of them, we never see any of those folks and haven't. Wouldn't even know them if I ran into them on the street. So I thought that would be an interesting thing for you to be aware of. That is our little report. I want to thank Kimberly for helping put it together. And really, I want to thank also Sammy and the associates do an amazing job of helping set up for every event, helping bind all of the binders. A lot of work behind the scenes from Sammy and her and Jennifer and their associate team. So any questions?
Yeah, I've got one. Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry, just a sec. So you mentioned that our instructors don't pay for any of this, but only folks that are outside of our organization do?
Correct. Correct.
How does this get paid for? Because this is an impressive amount of activity and on your part and several other people's parts and lots of other things. So how is that incorporated into the budget?
Well, it's in one of the categories that Kenneth just showed, instructional support, I believe. That was, yeah. And so that's the coaches, that's the PD department and other things. So it comes out of our budget in support of both central and satellite teachers. Kathy, is there anything you would add to that? Is that pretty accurate?
I think that is accurate. Yes. I think we once did, I think last year did an analysis, and I think that you did, and I think it was 78% of your time is serving satellites. And so as we're working through, working with our member districts to look at the services we provide, that was one of the categories that the entire budget of Kurt's department, 78% of that does support member districts. So it's several $100,000.
Yeah, Brenda.
I'd kind of like to know, you say some of the satellites don't send them, the people that don't have to come?
Yeah.
Sorry. So I'm wondering if we could kind of know who those are. I mean, Flowing Wells I know has a fantastic program of their own. Is it people like them, or you don't know?
So I can put together a report. What we would need to do is take the 98 teachers, identify the districts they're in, and we can show you which of them we see and which of them we don't. And you can look at district by district. I'll tell you, Flowing Wells would be not a good example to use right now because they have such stability. There's seldom a new teacher.
Yeah.
There is a current new teacher, and she's culinary, and she's been faithfully attending.
Well, I don't want you to do any extra work, but I was just thinking as I'm going out and visiting and talking with directors and stuff, I might just ask that question.
So we'll put that together and we'll let you know the status of the 98 teachers that don't need to take and how many of them actually. Now, one thing I will say, I'd say most, if not all, of the districts are really good about sending them to the 3 core classes. instructional best practice, classroom management, program management. After that, we seldom see them. So, and there are teachers we don't even see for those.
Right. Thank you.
Any other questions? Well, thank you all for your support of this. We really believe in it and appreciate all of your support. And then we included our brand new hot off the press catalog for the spring. And so you can see what courses we're going to be offering this coming spring. So thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for everything you do and for all the information. Very informative. Thank you.
Thank you, Kurt.
Calendar update.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And so I'm going to go a little bit backwards into November and note that on November 11th, last week, Veterans Day, this should have been part of my mentions of donations, but as Alex stated, he and Greg and I and Jim Lugow attended the Cornerstone Building Foundation event. And at that event, we were presented with a check for $20,000, which was part of the Cornerstone Building Foundation commitment for the sponsorship of the Shirley Dale construction classroom and lab. So I wanted to make sure I mentioned that. For December, Tuesday, December 9th, we have the regular governing board meeting. And then on Thursday, December 11th is the Eller College Champions of Change Network Tea. And at that tea, our own satellite instructor, Anna Danahy, former legendary teacher, and sister to Maria Bignell, who is here this evening being honored. Anna is going to be receiving the Champions of Change Award from Eller College, and she's a business teacher at Sunnyside High School. So that's at 1:30, and attending Brenda, myself, Greg, Deanna. And then on Friday, December 12th is the Eller College Economic Outlook Luncheon. That's at La Paloma, noon to 1:30, attending myself and Merrill Kemp Wilcox.
Me.
And you're not on the list, so we need to make sure that Chris gets that. So I will have Sammy make a note for Chris to add you to the Eller College and add Bob.
Thank you.
Okay. And then on December 18th and 19th is the ASBA annual conference. And at this point, we do not have any attendees to that event. If you are planning to attend, please let us know. And then in January, we have January 13th, our regular governing board meeting. And that's a very special meeting because that is your governing board organizational meeting. So please make note of that. And then on Saturday, January 24th is the event of the season, JTED Showcase, JTED at the Bridges, 10 a.m. right here. Last year we had 1,300 people. And so please make plans to attend that if you are available. And that concludes my calendar update.
Thank you. Next, we have the consent agenda. We have a motion to approve. Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on any of the items or any questions? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Cindy?
Aye.
Okay, the consent agenda passes. Next is study action items. A legislative update from Tina. You out there, Tina? Oh, okay.
Give her a second. I could go on to the next item.
Why don't we?
Permitted?
Sure, why don't we do that? Policy advisory.
She muted herself.
I'm putting you to the microphone.
So we're
Go
gonna
ahead.
do it this way.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
From the start of the legislative session. Legislature starts January 12th. So the framework and ideas for the 26th session are starting to take shape. I think the main thing to note is that the budget outlook is grim, mostly because they project out 3 years. And there's only about 67 million in the budget beyond the ongoing expenditures in year 3. So they recognize that things are very tight. Or forming with the federal tax, where we do not conform to the federal tax, and that would eat into that 67 million, in fact, far surpass that. So the budget outlook is grim. It's also an election year. So as you know, the election year can shape up a legislative session. It could be a short session so people can get out and get to campaigning. But it is notable that there are several legislators who are not seeking re-election. So really quick, I'll just go through some key ones. As probably many of you know, Senator Vince Leach from our area is not running for re-election. Senator J.D. Mesnard from Chandler is not running. Representative Jeff Wittinger from Chandler is pursuing the mayor. Representative John Gillette from Kingman is not running again. Senator Mitzi Epstein from the East Valley is not, or from Chandler also, she's not running. President Warren Peterson is running for Attorney General. And then there's more. I mean, I just noted the notable ones. There's going to be significant turnover. So as we've seen in the latest legislative sessions, we're going to have quite a few freshman legislators in 2027 that will have to educate on CTEDs and the role we play in the state and in the economy. As you know, all 90 lawmakers and the governor will be elected next year, as well as all the statewide offices. And then for the first time in history, we'll have a lieutenant governor. So once we know who wins the primary in both the Democratic and Republican primary, they will pick a running mate to be on the ballot with them as lieutenant governor. And that person will be the one that succeeds or fills in for the governor in their absence instead of the secretary of state. And the primary is scheduled for August 4th. So I mentioned like $50 billion that's shared amongst all the states. If Arizona is a recipient of any of that, it will include some monies for workforce development, particularly in the area of healthcare and some of the hard-to-fill positions. As far as leadership, Representative Matt Gress will continue to serve in the House as the chair of education. But on the Senate side, Senator Higley Angus from the Mojave County region, she'll be our education chair in the Senate. Because David Farnsworth, who was the head of the education chair, is moving to serve as the chair of the Appropriations Committee because John Kavanaugh, who was the Appropriations Committee chair, is moving to Majority Leader. Not running, Warren Peterson. So we're not sure who the Senate president will be at this point. Prop 123, I talked to you guys last year. It expired, but there really wasn't an impact to the school district for the funding because the way that it was written 10 years ago when it went into place was that if it expires, the state budget has to pick up the increase. So as you might recall, the Prop 123 money came from the state trust plans. And so without renewing it or expanding it, the state budget just picks it up. And so it just adds to the budget woes, but it doesn't really impact school districts. But it's because of that, it's really important that there's some sort of reauthorization of Prop 123. We just don't know what those ideas are going to look like because, as you might recall, some of the talks last session about extending it got wrapped up in voter protecting the empowerment scholarship accounts. And of course, many educators who would have supported a Prop 123 reauthorization would be against putting it in the Constitution, these ESA expansions that are taking, and we're over $1 billion in the amount of money that's going towards the ESA subsidies. So again, that's big, and it's going to be big next year in terms of the legislative session, and it's part of the whole budget outlook being bleak. So finally, I'll just talk about as a consortium, a CTE consortium, we're trying to expand our partnerships with community colleges and also refine our partnerships with community colleges. Sometimes we're seen as competition when we should be seen as partners. So we're continuing to do that work. And then at the legislative level, there's interest in increasing the pipeline of tradesmen to build data centers. House Majority Leader Michael Carbone workforce pipeline to meet the demands of the construction industry as well as the energy demands of the data centers. So we're watching that very closely. As always, protecting CTE funding and statutory authority for CTED. As I reported to you last month, and I will continue this feud or disagreement or misunderstanding or miscommunication in the East Valley between even some of their member districts is not helpful to our cause. So we're watching it really closely and trying to see if there's any way we can broker a communication strategy that allows them to come to an agreement that doesn't involve bringing in the legislature or court or the governor's office, because that we all believe that won't end well for CTE, CTED, and the satellite system. So with that, I'll take any questions. And again, sorry for the technical difficulty.
Okay. Any questions for Tina? No, thank you, Tina.
Thank you guys again. Sorry for the technical difficulty. I think I was muted on your side, but not exactly sure. Take care. I can hear you guys.
Okay. ASBA policy.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This policy DJE from Policy Advisory number 959 simply is a reorganization of policy. And so it consolidates language previously duplicated in the bidding and purchases not requiring bidding sections. And so statutory exemptions to competitive bidding are now listed only under the bidding section. So the revision streamlines the policy for clarity and consistency without changing its intent or requirements. So in actuality, this does not change any of the bidding or purchasing procedures, just how it is organized in our policy. I recommend approval.
Questions or motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Good here.
Oh, say aye. Okay, motion approved.
Thank you.
There we go. And then last but most importantly, Kenneth.
Yes. As you may recall, at our working session, we're just doing the preliminary bond discussion. I mentioned that we would be bringing forward a resolution asking the board to approve. And all this is doing is it's giving us the authority under IRS rules that any money that we may have spent 60 days prior to tonight and up to a year and a half after tonight, that if you decide to go out, allow us to go to bond, and if those bonds pass, we can use those proceeds to reimburse allowable expenditures. This does not obligate the board to go to bond, and that's still a question that we will be working on through the spring. But in the event that this happens and it does pass, this gives us the ability to be reimbursed for some of those. Now you might, yes, sir.
I motioned it.
Oh, stop talking. I
We have
got
a
it.
second? Cindy?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion second. Any questions for Kenneth or? No?
Yep, I do. So,
Okay.
quick question. While this discussion is going on, do you anticipate the date or the election cycle that this might land?
We're anticipating going out November of 26. Is that answer
Yeah,
your question?
that's what I was thinking. I was just wondering about the competing efforts that may be at the same time, whether that's the right time to do it or not. So that's a strategy we need to probably consider.
It is, and I have been in discussion with consultant, actually several, on that exact topic, and he is of the opinion that this is a good time, the November 26th, because you have more voters coming out. So it hopefully will be more in our favor.
Great, thanks. And that gives us plenty of time to do the marketing and the rationale that for which we propose this option.
Yes.
Okay, great, thanks.
And just to clarify, if we pass this resolution, all of the money we've spent to date on the land and the architecture and the engineering can all be reimbursed from the bond money. So then we could use that money for education.
Correct.
Right.
That's the whole purpose of it. Yes.
Okay.
I have another question.
Yes.
The meeting I missed, did you give out more data or reasons to, why we need it?
Well, I think one of the main reasons is so that we can have the capacity for the students that come in, and we would hopefully no longer have a wait list and could service those students right away instead of waiting 2 years, waiting for the money, build a building, it gets full. So that way we can do all at once. But I think the other is that we have significant resources that we can push back into the member district program. So for example, we saw the one that you presented where they've been waiting forever to get AC in that particular classroom. They could use these proceeds to do those upgrades. And I think it's important that we work with our member districts and come up with a number and come up with a plan that they feel comfortable with.
So a percentage of the bond proceeds will go to the districts.
And the districts were good with this when you met with them?
Well, that's part of the marketing that we're going to be doing to see if they go along with it and everybody's on board. All right.
I think that was one of the most compelling pieces that you talked about when you broke the rationale up into those 5 different steps. That the money funneled to the satellite districts was critical, and that they knew that it might be that way, but that it wasn't just going to come straight from, oh, we got it, here you go. There was going to have to be some kind of process to request that money with some rationale for use on their part.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'll call for the question. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
Nope, I say aye. Sorry, just missed
Okay,
getting
so
my mute off.
3 ayes and 1 nay.
That wasn't me, was it?
No. It
No.
was
Okay.
not.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Last thing on the agenda is future agenda items. Yes.
Technology. We were talking about, there was a walkthrough, it's been months ago, maybe I missed it. Is something being done to improve or work on this? Could that be on the next agenda?
we have quotes.
Very good.
Oh, yes. So we do have quotes to do sound abatement and audio visual upgrades to this room. Now we're looking for the funding to make that happen. So yes.
So would you like a agenda update, a report just a brief on the quotes and, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we will have that as a info and updates on technology. Samantha's got that down.
Anything else?
I bring this up each time, but I think it'll probably be a work study session, trying to develop a common theme across sustainability for for many of the different programs that can contribute to that. So maybe we could work on that. I just had a meeting just yesterday morning with the UA Foundation banner and UA Health Sciences. And there were several folks there that were very knowledgeable about JTED, and they were excited about having that be part of the sustainability project that might be philanthropically enticing to people. If there was something about the health issues that continue to reside in our environment due to toxic waste or bad pollution or extreme heat or whatever. So anyway, just to throw it out there as something maybe for a summer discussion to put together.
Okay.
Thank you, Cindy.
Anything else?
Motion to adjourn.
Well, you're standing in for Wayne, are you? We're adjourned.
Thanks very much. Thanks for tolerating my coughing and in and outness.
Feel better, Cindy?
Oh yeah.
Take care.
Yep. Thanks. Glad not to share.